Hello, welcome to another video of JavaScript. In this video we'll talk about the prototype, and in the previous video I have shown that how you can create the prototype for attribute, as well as how you can create the method, how you can add that particular function or method to that constructor function with the help of prototype. I have shown that. Now I'll go to the browser and we'll discuss, and I'll show you how it actually look like in case of our browser. So without wasting time, let's start. So before going to that, just let me type over here window, and if you'll type enter, you can see that it is having lots of thing inside the window, right? So what is window over here? In the JavaScript, the window, this is actually an object, and this particular object represents the global window or the top level browsing context in the browser. So in each and every browser you'll be able to see this kind of window over here, okay? And it is a fundamental part of the browser environment, and it provides a global scope. Global scope means if you'll declare a variable, that particular variable will be attached to this particular window. So, and if you'll write any particular function, then also that particular function will be attached to this particular window object. So you already know that object can have a property or it can have a method also. So inside window we'll be able to see that particular method or that particular property or any kind of variable. So this is very much important. You have to remember that window actually provides a global scope, and JavaScript code running within a web browser, it's actually using this particular window. So when someone is asking what is windows, and then you have to give her the answer like this is kind of global object, and this window object serves as the global object for client side JavaScript. Any variable or any function declaration we have done in the console, so it will be the global scope become the property or method of the window object, okay? Second point that you can mention that variable and function declared outside any function becomes the part of the global scope. So if you are declaring any variable inside a function, so that scope will be different, but outside of any function, if you are declaring any kind of function or any variable, that will be the part of this particular window object. So I'll also show you that one also. You can also talk about the event handling. The window object is involved in handling various events that occurs in the browser, such as load, unload, or resize. There are various types of global methods are there. Window provides several kinds of globally accessible methods. For example, you can see here the alert. This one is nothing but the global method. By window you can also access this one, or without declaring the window object, you can directly access this particular alert method. As well as you can see these are some methods which are available and you can directly access. And if you will type window dot, then if you will press the alert, then it will be possible to access these methods which are global. We can access all these global methods. Now let's come to our actual part of the prototype. So if you will type a constructor function over here, so here we are taking our previous code. So here let me type this particular function, which is a constructor function. So if you'll type over here enter, and if you want to check the window again, so let me type over here window again and just press enter. And if you'll drill down little bit below, you can see that this particular function, constructor function, is attached over here. Why this function? Because if is showing here, it means it will be a function. And if we'll go a little bit down, you can see there is a prototype attached with this, right? So for each and every object you will be able to see this type of prototype will be with there. And now let me create an object and I'll show you that one as well. So whenever you will add a particular function, and this particular function is attached with this particular window, that's why this particular function is actually you will be able to see over here. So now this animal is at the part of this window or object. Now let me create an object through this particular constructor. So if you want to create the dog object, so you have to use the dog equals to new animal, and then if you press the enter, you can see one animal type object will be created. Now if you open it, you can see that animal type, pet, number of legs is there. Also you can see there is a object prototype is there, and if you open it, you can see that that particular constructor function is over there. And if you drill down, you will be able to see the prototype over here, and it's also containing the constructor, right? And it is having the animal constructor. So now my agenda is to show that we have created an object, and this particular object will be also attached to this particular window. Let me show that as well. So we'll type a window, and if we press enter, and if we'll go below a little bit, you can see that our animal is there. And if we'll go a little bit down, if we'll go to dog, you can see that that particular dog object also attached to window object. So it means that our object can have a property or variable, it can have a method, as well as it can contain the app object as well. So window is actually having the dog now. Now let me close it, and now what we'll do, we'll try to add a function to this particular constructor function animal. So let me write the code for it. So if you are not understanding this particular video, so you have to see our previous video. There we discussed that how you can create a add a function to constructor, how we can add a function to the constructor function. Then it will be easier for you to understand this particular concept. Now if you know that if you want to add a method to this particular constructor function, then you have to use animal.prototype, and then you have to give the name of the function or method, and then you can write an function for this. Okay, so if you'll try to enter over here, you can see that it is actually showing a function. Now if you'll go to this particular window, just let me copy it, and if you'll press enter over here, and if you'll go a little bit down, you can see that animal is there. Okay, and if you go to its prototype, you'll be able to see that this particular make method that I have added in the prototype, that is attached to its prototype, previously it was not there. So when I actually written this particular code, then it actually attach this make sound method to its prototype. That means in the animal it's attaching its property make sound. And if we'll go a little bit inside, you'll be able to see this kind of hierarchy over here. And let me go to the property for the dog itself. So if we'll open it, and if we'll go to its object prototype, and you can see that inside this object now this make sound is also available. So it means whenever you will add a function through its prototype, then that particular method or that particular property will be attached to its property for all of the objects, and this is the proof you can see, right? Again, if you want to create one more object for that one as well, this particular make sound method will be attached. So now let me create one more object, and we'll check that make sound method is attached to that particular object or not. So now we'll create a cat object, and if we'll enter over here, and if we'll check now window, just copy it, or you can just type over here, and if we'll enter, and if we'll go a little bit down, and if we'll go to the cat object, you can see that it is having the prototype, and inside this prototype you can see that make sound method is now present, because previously we have attached a method to its prototype. That's why it's present, right? I hope now you understood how the prototype actually works in case of JavaScript. So thanks for watching this video. See you in the next one. Till then, take care. Bye bye.